Morning, everyone. Morning. How are we all doing? Hopefully you're doing good. All right, lots to get through today, so I'm going to start the stream now, folks. So, as always, make sure you've gone through your morning prep. Daily, all right, this is important. This is where it's going to get tricky. Yesterday, inside bar. Today, potential outside bar. Location, not good, unfortunately. It's just how they've set this thing up. They're making this very, very hard. Why is it not good? Swing high, swing low into 61. On top of that, what are we into? The old gap. All right, the old gap. If we go to, if they're going to let me do it, we go to a 4 hour, we go to regular trading hours. All right, this is your gap down into here. All right, so this grey box is an unfilled gap all the way up to 125. All right, so we need to be careful about this old gap and the reaction to that old gap. All right, but we are technically have the ability for a breakout based on the daily through here. All right, above these levels here, have the ability to break out. But we know what in here, all right, there is a huge amount of trap volume. All right, you can see it here. It sort of starts into the 950s, 900s. I would be very, very careful playing long breakouts today. I know everyone's looking at this going back to all-time highs. We're very bullish. Yeah, that's fine if you were buying down here. Unfortunately, the way they've set it up, they're giving you on purpose the worst possible location for a potential move up. The volume in these days here has been awful. Has not been good volume. It's a drift higher. For me, that was a short covering squeeze more than genuine buying. Now that might change today with the announcement from AMD and some rotation back into chips, but I would be very cautious. Do not be buying high up here, because if you get a failed breakout, you will get then a trade back inside of previous day's range and a look below. So just be careful. We're going to have to respect value areas. You've got to respect this gap here. If they want to fill it, so be it. But just be cautious is all I'm saying on that move up. Seeing some uber bulls out there at the moment. Okay, higher time frame, hourly. Here's your hourly. And sorry, just trying to move this in so you can see it properly. Let's make this bigger. There we go. There's your hourly. You can see the pivots. All right, we've already taken out this little wick high into 827s. Now, the big area, like we talked about, same from the newsletter, same area, 900s. Why? Well, we have a double top there. All right, and we've got previous week value area high. It feels like that's where it's trying to go. There's no doubt about it. That's what it feels like. But answer me this. Have we had a decent pullback off the squeeze on Friday? All right, a little bit there, which is held, drift higher. There's your balance range. There's your 2-day balance range inside the thickest range from last week. That is a dangerous amount of liquidity there now. All right, so very, very simply, they have to hold above this balance range if we can complete this rotation up towards 900. As we approach 900, you want to be taking money off the table. You do not want to be adding into a long position here, because it's very, very easy. Even if we come back this morning and we hold over previous day's value and we take 900, if you get long there, there's just as much chance that they come straight back down into range on a look above and fail, because we haven't balanced out any of this down here. That is my worry right now, is sub 400s has just been left in that big old squeeze out, and we've got thin structure in here. All right, so I'm just slightly concerned there. Bullish, yes, it looks somewhat bullish, lower time frame, but again, as always, this level here becomes key. All right, sort of 700s and just below. All right, do they hold dips into that to complete that rotation? If we squeeze in the morning, if we squeeze out the gate and take out all the levels above without coming into this, doesn't give us much of a trade opportunity. All right, the only trade opportunity will either be, if they are able to base above here for a resqueeze up towards this next cluster, or a look above and a fail back into range. Otherwise, we're looking for longs for a hold of previous or the last 2 days balanced area to trade off. If we fail that, this will be a look above and fail, and we will go back into this. I don't want to trade in there today. Not when we've spent 2 days in there, a few days last week in there. It's going to get really messy in there. We've had a couple opportunities the last few days to trade in there. Don't want to really do it again. If we look at overnight, what have we done overnight? Well, all we've done is pump. All right, so breakout here, very, very risky trade here. Trading, again, at the 61+% of this, but momentum took over, pull back home, momentum took over, pull back home, momentum took over. You've seen finally some London players been liquidated, but we're holding the 200 on the 5-minute. And we're still building liquidity here for potentially, I think that 900 is ultimately the target. They have just swept this level here. So 860s to 870s and then the 900s is where they're trying to get up. But location, not good for a new money long. It's not good. All right, so we're just going to have to be patient and see what they get. I would not be surprised if I personally don't take a trade today, depending how they hold this up, especially when they're waiting to see if they go back to work and if we get the CPI prints. It seems the risk profile seems rather large to me personally. And you can see we're failing up here after sweeping that liquidity. All right, this was from what day? 6th of November, last Thursday. So we've taken out last Thursday's pivot and we're pulling back inside for now. All right, let's have a look elsewhere. Let me change that. That's better. Just going to go to the spiders. See what these guys are doing. Same kind of story. You can see it's just like a V-shaped recovery at the moment. All right, I think we lack a good pullback. Yes, we did have that. These two, but I'd say they're sort of soft, and yeah, I just have concerns that we do this before we think about a bigger move if we're going to do it. So yeah, just somewhat cautious, but gapping up on the spiders. Coming into the same kind of pivots, very close to all-time highs now on spiders, really not very far away at all. Q's a little bit further because we've had that weakness. This is the gap fill. All right, remember we're into this giant gap here. This is the gap fill up here. I've got an alert for it at 632s. Okay, Dixie. This is where it's going to get like tricky, right? Dixie starting to find a bid, all right? That is not bullish for the market. So let's just see. Bitcoin has tried to find a bid, still hasn't reclaimed these key levels up here where it broke down from. This reminds me of gold when it started to do that puke out. So cautious over that. Let's go through the mag quickly. Apple relative strength remains. Just trading at PDC. It had its highest close ever yesterday. All right. So it didn't trade all-time highs, but closed at the highest it's ever done. Everything else is a slingshot, as you see in after hours on earnings. So the highest close it's ever done, grinding its way back. Amazon gapping up as well, taking out that liquidity. Next pivot is up towards those all-time highs. So seeing strength in the mag so far. Goog gapping up. It's a bit overextended there, but let's see. Big gap up, driving back towards the 300s. Yeah. Meta, all right, starting to find a bid. So the interesting one on Meta, if this is its first chance of the higher low like we talked about, you've got a bit of a quasi here. Can it bid above 33s and start to get going? And that would be the shift for more bullish rotation. But if not, I would expect they would still get met with bears, to be honest. It's a big puke out. There's lots of people trapped in this. We're starting to see that curl. It's probably got a pop and then a retest of this level here coming over the next, I don't know, 3 to 5 sessions. Microsoft gapping up as well. Back into its sort of choppy range. You want to be careful here. All right, you can see Microsoft chopped in here. Failed look above, chopped in here, washed underneath, coming back to back test this area. It might find sellers there because you've got buyers trapped above right now. Nvidia, this is where the strength's coming from. All right, this is where the strength's coming from off the AMD news. How are we doing for time? Not too bad. Gap up on Nvidia, but again, you know, you're really looking at that high that we put in Monday. If it can't get back above that high from Monday, or it looks above that high towards this old balance range, it's the same story, folks. All right, this is where buyers are trapped. If it can't get back, if it can't find acceptance in here, then we're going to come back down and look for what? We're going to rotate and look for fair value somewhere else. This is why I'm cautious, because we're coming into some very, very key levels. Everyone wants to get uber long, but you're uber long at the worst location. It's I don't know. It's not necessarily a short yet, but I don't really like the longs at the moment. And the same with Tesla. All right, look above, fail, break down, retesting this level. If it reclaims it, yeah, there's an argument for a squeeze out higher. Most of this has come from AMD. All right, the announcement yesterday, they're expecting, I think it was like some ridiculous amount of growth over the next 6 to 9 months. And that's what's giving us this huge gap up in AMD. So remember, I've still got 20% of my original position long in this, but nowhere near the highs where I sold up into at the moment. But it's getting there. It's getting there. A little look at the 30 years, see what's going on here. We got a bit of relief in it. That still looks pretty dangerous to me. High low here. If we get that move here, it's really unhealthy for the market. It looks very dangerous out there to me from a macro point of view right now. But we can only trade what's in front of us, right? So I don't want to get too dialed into that, but I'm just not super risk on at the moment. And you're starting to see this pullback starting to happen. So I'm interested down here. Maybe we can pull back down into that. And we can see what's what once we get down there. Sorry, I just want to color this. One at the bottom, yeah. And we built volume under you. Yes, we did. And that's a 2-day balance range. So you can go like this. Okay, sorry folks, talking to myself when I'm prepping. Okay, quick look at the book. There's a little bit of there's some offers up at 920s, most of them at sort of 820s, 840s. Are there any bids down below? Oh yes, tons and tons and tons looking to get filled lower. We're starting to see a bit of aggressive selling coming in the tape here this morning. All right, good morning everyone. Let's just make sure we're set up for success here. Give me a second, folks. How are we all doing? Did any of you trade overnight? Morning, morning, morning. Sorry, I'm not going to get through all the good mornings again. It's getting busy. Busy, 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 busy. I'll get down to the questions in a moment. Okay, team. Here we go. Glasses on. Let this shake out at the open. I'm interested in failed. Looks above. I don't really want to get long here for that drive to 900 unless it's very, very clear and obvious that buyers are stepping in on the tape. Otherwise, potential rotation back down to previous day's value, and then we can think about what's what when we get down there. Morning, everyone. Oh. Okay. Yesterday's VWAP down at 2620s. Okay. Here we go. Prints incoming. Big selling to start the day. Heavy selling on the tape there on that morning print. Back to VWAP. Under previous day's high right now. Give you a readout on the mag. Mag are all up right now. Tesla, 0.3%, Nvidia 1% up, Microsoft 0.03% up, about to go green to red. Meta 0.10% up, coming back down to PDC. Google pretty much flat. Amazon 0.34% up, Apple 0.31% down. All right, so flush to start the day. Maybe coming down to previous day's open. They're selling hard. This is what I was saying. I think the failed breakout is possible. And it's a shame we haven't pushed first before giving this move. This is the area they want to come and retest. Ideal positions to think about longs will be down here. And if we slice straight through it, we're going to go straight into previous day's range. So lots of profit taking here in the morning. So I said the location for long was absolutely terrible at the open. So anyone who is looking long, they're getting crushed already. And this is why. Location is so important, folks. You can't just like look at a screen and just think, hey, I'm going to get long because everyone on Twitter is saying we're going to all-time highs, right? You've just lost your best part of 100 points, or what was it, 66 points on that opening drive. So let's just see. Coming back down to value right now. It's a shame they don't give setups. They just do straight moves at the moment in the mornings. Very, very frustrating. Very, very frustrating. Okay, coming into area of interest here, how we act here is going to be key. All right, you would want to see bulls protect this. If we're actually going to have a go at going back up to 900s, these levels in here have to be protected. If they don't protect it, we go into yesterday's chop and slop, which will be not ideal. Man, we've already got idiots in the chat. It's amazing. Incredible. All right, watching the book here. Still strong selling at lows. They're coming in to retest. Previous week point of control, previous day value area high, previous day point of control into these areas here. This is where buyers will want to hang out and protect it. If they fail to protect it, we're going to see a rotation right into yesterday's value, and that is going to leave not a lot to do, to be honest. Those first two prints were massive. Literally no buying in those first two prints. All right, so buyers trying to come on here, still not convinced we've retested any key level yet. So maybe a drift back up. Let me get an anchor on here. So how we act at New York VWAP would be key if we reclaim that 24-hour and a retest up here. Very thin in this move down. All right, we've got single prints or imbalances into 25 to 30, and then another imbalance from 40 to 45, and then an imbalance right up at the highs at 70 right now. So right now, you're just seeing constant sell pressure on this tape. So rejecting VWAP there. They're trying to get down to previous day value area high. That's what they're looking to do at the moment. Here's the wash. And what's going to be important is if there's strong selling here, is it met with some soakers on the tape? Because if it's not, we're going straight into yesterday's range, and that will leave no trades for me. I don't want to trade yesterday's range. Gap fill will be down here to 40. So here's previous day value area high. If you got this short off the open, well done. I mean, we had a 1 bar retest. That's it. Tricky, tricky, tricky. All right, previous day value area high tagged, and previous week point of control tagged. So these are potential locations buyers might step up in. Not seeing that right now. All we're seeing is sell pressure, but just be aware of that. So some absorption here into previous day value area high. Get no long here. Can't long against strong momentum, which is what we're seeing. We're going to have to see it base out or see a reaction. And really, I still think there's a trade where we drift higher and it gets resold into, because I doubt all the sellers came in on that opening drive. It was so big. A lot of them, probably like me, would have been waiting for a push above and fail. Nice, Andrew. Good work. Good work. So yeah, what we said on Discord has come true, isn't it? It's probably a counter trend short down to previous day value area high, which is what you're seeing. So bulls starting to step in here. All right, this is the area where bulls want to defend. I'm going to give this a few minutes to shake out because that is quite a lot of momentum to the downside there. Back to VWAP we go. Still not able to get through that VWAP right now. I'm interested if we can drift higher and fill some of the single prints. Where's that? 720s. Let's see. Yeah, exactly, Troy. It's just one of those. Let me just grab my water. I can't do anything here. Be right back. All right. Sorry, folks. Left it next door. Powell, it's your first time here, and that's your first thing saying, like, if you don't know how I trade and you've come here just to do that, I don't understand how anything that you're saying is useful, my friend. So I'll give you an opportunity to sit here a bit longer and learn from me. But if you're going to come in here and try and piss me off first thing in the morning, then you're going to fuck it up for everyone because I don't need to be here. I will just leave. So word of advice, keep stum or be positive. All right, retesting value area highs from yesterday. These are the levels here in previous day point of control. This is where bulls will want to absorb potential gap fill. If they don't absorb this, we go into yesterday's range. It will get very hard to trade in yesterday's range because that will be a 3-day balance range where we create down there. So let's just see. Let's see. Make sure you're zooming out, higher time frame. Look at where we're trading into. All right, we still can potentially be bullish from here, but just give it a chance. Here in the higher time frame, right here. All right. We either find bids here or we're going to go right into the previous day's value and we're going to rotate again, which would be the harder trade to take today. We don't really want to see that. Yeah, the same yesterday on YM, straight up. VIX is, it's just stuck at PDC, New York Open PDC. Starting to see a little bit of compression here. I wouldn't be surprised to see a drive up soon, which is met with sellers for a retest. So just going to give this a chance to shake out. Nice, ET, good work. Yeah, ES already finding a bid. It didn't sweep, which is interesting. It left those 880s. Did not sweep. Mag is a bit heavier right now today. So same story, the divergence playing out. Apple down, Google down, Meta down, Tesla down, Microsoft flat, Amazon only 0.15% up. The strength's coming from Nvidia, and even that has given quite a lot back. It's only 0.5% up. So I would be somewhat cautious. Battle here going on. Some absorption starting to happen down here. All right, we've got strong selling at those lows. 212 lot, 101 lot, 150 lot, 129 lot, 175 lot. They're all at these lows around 75. I'd say, yeah, an average of probably 75. Big sellers have an average price of 75. All right, so if we're going to get relief, they're going to get themselves caught down there. We do have excess on that last drive. I'd say on that 37 candle, 937 candle, that's where the sellers so far got trapped. So if we leave them trapped, we can't move lower. If we get continuation here, then we are going to start flushing to previous day's point of control, which is what they're trying to do right now. Here's the move to previous day's point of control. If we let go of that, then maybe gap fill. It's not ideal. Unfortunately, the way it's set up today has not been ideal. It's a shame. I really wanted to be in this short. Oh, you absolute pain in the butt, NQ. When did they set it up? An hour ago, really. Here and here. Sweep, back to supply, down. I can't get short down here, and there's no long now, so. Oh, NQ, you're not my friend today. You're not my friend. You've done everything I wanted without giving me an entry. More strong selling at the lows. All of the mag now red. This is heavy, heavy, heavy selling, folks. Back to Globex now. Back to PDC. Sweeping Globex, sorry. Back to PDC. Gap fill is here. If they can't find a bid here, we're going to go into previous days. Range rotation. These are the areas of liquidity that we built out yesterday. So if we fill the gap and keep failing, if you're in this short for any reason, 620s and 570s. Oh my God. Oh my God. What I would have done to been in this today. Pain in the butt. Oh, don't be frustrated. Don't be frustrated. Don't be frustrated. I'm getting frustrated. I'm frustrated. I want to be in this. I want to be in this. So gap now filled. Well, a tick away. Pretty much filled. Gap pretty much filled. Bears in absolute control right now. That's what I was saying. I wouldn't have been uber bullish at the top. Nice. Yeah, anyone who got the short, congratulations. Now, what would happen now? I'd be concerned for bears. What would I be thinking? If we reclaim, all right, if we've looked into previous day's value and we reclaim previous day's value, then we can maybe drift higher outside of here once we reclaim some of this. All right, for a squeeze back up. This was very thin on the way down. All right, 720s, they're a single print. So above 714s, if they reclaim this, there's a squeeze back up potentially. But right now, bears remain in control. If you drift up here and you fail value, or if they protect value here, I'd say they're being more pain to come for these bulls. And so far, there's continuation selling on every pop. So, yeah, just be aware, I guess, is the best way of putting it. You have to be aware of what's going on right now. There's a tussle down here at PDC at the moment. Big tussle, failing to make a new low there. Still sellers on the tape. Does it come down to that old VWAP from yesterday, which would be 628, 630 is what I'm wondering at the moment. Does it flush through down to that level, that next box down into here? We have an old anchor in. That's what I'm wondering at the moment. Here's PDC. So there's your gap fill. If we get under this gap, you're going to have your first red day scenario, remember. And you can see more heaviness. Coming back down towards that VWAP now to this blue box. So under here, if we stay heavy under here, you have your first red day scenario. It's not a good first red day scenario because you're inside of a 2-day balance. So it's going to be very hard to trade if that's what they're looking for. At the moment, you are in first red day scenario. If we get under PDC and stay heavy under it, at the moment you're seeing just a gap fill. And mag all weak, remaining weak right now. That PDC would be key. If we sell under that, potentially back down to previous day value area low, I guess, potentially. Holding PDC, and this would be the battle zone. Previous day point of control, previous day value area high, liquidity to be built out here. Fading under here, we'll see more heaviness because it would be a first red day. Type setup is what I'm talking about, type setup, first red day type setup. This would be a gap and trap, look above and fail. At the moment, it's just gap fill, so let's just see. And straight down since the open. Nvidia trying to find a bid. It's back at PDC here. It's trying to find a bid. Still sellers on the tape. I still think they're trying to move this lower, and I still think there's a potential first red day scenario if they can close heavy under PDC on this next sort of 5 minute. I think it's a big problem for the market. So under PDC, new lows coming. Here we go. So previous day VWAP here into 28s. Still no trade for me. Oh, I knew it. I fucking knew it. It's frustrating. It's doing everything I want to see without me. Oh my God. This is what like real life frustration looks like when you know exactly what the market wants to do, but it doesn't give you the setup. This is what it looks like, folks. This is just to prove some days you know exactly what it wants to do, but it won't give you setup, and this is what happens. Oh my days. Deary, deary, deary me. It is what it is. It is what it is. This is, oh my gosh. Gotta let go. These are where I make my big 5-figure days when they do things like this, because everyone wanted the bullish move. The location was awful to be a bull. We were just back testing some key levels. They all got exuberant, and we flushed. Info risk. I'm going to rephrase what you've just put. It might bounce at some point, but it doesn't have to do anything. Just remember that. Right? It doesn't have to do. For me, the last few days were a giant squeeze outs. There was absorption, but I think they were looking for their exit. Yeah, AMD up off that news. AMD up off that news. But remember, again, same scenario. It's got supply overhead. Thank you, darling. Wishful thinking. Yeah, wishful thinking. I mean, look, technically speaking, you would expect at some point a bounce. But look what we've done now. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Okay, so here's your next level of liquidity. And after that, previous day value area low. And if we fail that, we've got double bottoms down here we can come and take. Honestly, the fact that this low, yesterday's previous day low, did not take Monday's low in New York, this and this, we can easily come for that. We can easily come for that. All right, I want to make you understand why this has happened, because it's important that you understand why my read today was this way around. It's probably the opposite to anyone else you're watching on stream. High time frame. All right, just focus in on these. Liquidity left here. Gap up and squeeze, squeeze, squeeze into key levels. Look how thick we are. This is the edge of previous week's value. That should be value area high, previous week's value area high up there. All right, so we're failing that after sweeping an internal, and we're coming back into range. This was a probable setup for here. Now, if we bleed beyond that, back to gap, who knows? But the A+, the easy move would have been this. Just a little look above and that. All right, and risk off here and hold runners for a bleed out. It all came from higher time frame. None of this came from lower time frame. All right, now we're into the areas yesterday we started building liquidity. All right, so literally straight down right now. Can't short the lows. I wouldn't get on a pullback. Yeah, I would consider it, but obviously the lower we go, the worse the momentum is. The worse the location is, and you know, pullbacks are going to have to be all the way up here. And the tough thing with this is, Nihao, is if we pull back to here, we're going to reclaim PDC, which would be a look below and fail. All right, and if we reclaim this as well, these will be look into previous day's value and fail, and this will be a giant squeeze above here. So the easy short opportunity in my mind has probably gone. Unfortunately, that's just how it is. Like, unless we can retrap bulls on a move back in, it is what it is, folks. I'm really, really sorry that we didn't get exactly what we wanted today. Hopefully some of you got the short back down. You can see once we let go of PDC, it was first red day scenario, and they all get hurt real quick. Dear, oh dear, oh dear. Seller's still in control here. Every pop still being sold into. Bulls will want a little bit of relief. You know, I'd say if they can get relief, where do we leave all those single prints? Right through PDC. All right, so we've got an imbalance from sort of 33 down to 08 right now. Yeah, totally, Troy. Morning, Priska. It's okay. Maybe some of you got it. You know, it was very, very tempting. Once we came through here, like I was saying when we're here, like there's a good chance if we let go of PDC, it gets nasty. The problem is, right, let's say I take a sell order here. Where am I risking against? So I can't risk against this shelf. We'll have to risk at least to this and probably up to here. And then my risk reward profile is skewed. It's just one of those. Sometimes NQ doesn't build out nice. It's not very friendly, and that's what we've had this morning. All right, we've left the New York Open instantly. It's a very bearish sign. We've come down to previous day point of control, previous day value area high. We don't bid off this because we don't see any bullish structure. We continue selling. We sell through PDC. We've sold through another area volume, and we're finally finding a little bit of a bid in where we found bids yesterday. But it would not surprise me to see us trade down to 450s today. It really wouldn't. If they want to get uber bearish on this and cause max pain for bulls from the balanced range for 2 days, 450s is where they will go because we have unfinished business. I am flat, my friend. I'm not, unfortunately, not in this short. I was very, very well prepared for this short today. It was what I was looking for this morning, but it was literally short out the gate and didn't give me the opportunity. So we have to wait now. Wait for some structure. We've been very, very thin. It's possible we set a trend day down, but we're in the 2 day balanced range. This is not where I wanted to trade. Remember at the beginning of the session, we wanted to trade down into this range. We want to be holding runners in this range. We don't want to trade in a 2 day balanced range. That balanced range is can I draw it for them? Is right here. Right, we don't really want to execute in here. Ideally, we don't want to be executing in here. So protecting this edge right now. Every pop still being sold into. I still think it needs a bit more relief for me to even be vaguely interested in it. Mag all very, very red. All right, Tesla 0.91% down. Nvidia 0.5% down. Microsoft over 0.25% down, Meta over 1% down, Google 1.42% down, Amazon 0.33% down, Apple just under 1% down. It is a heavy, heavy day, folks, or at least a heavy morning. Let's see, 10 a.m., 10:30, maybe we get a slight change and a rebalance. The H1 can afford a big old rebalance all the way up to 720s if it wants. But right now, bears are absolutely in control. Previous day low is a last defense. No, I don't think it would be a defense. I think we will come under it and take the 450 under it, all right? Because the New York low from the day before is here. So I think they've left that bottom down there for bulls to think that they can protect it, and I think they will get very, very hurt there. That's my gut read right now. So continued selling here, more sell pressure. Previous day value area low, the next level. If you're in this short for this breakdown versus flow zones, it looks good. TP1 here, TP2 here, TP3 here, TP4 down here. great continuation here. Really good momentum here in this market today. You don't want to be a bull in this right now. You do not want to be a bull in this right now. This is good sell pressure. VIX also swiped up. It's starting to try and find a bid. As long as it can find a bid over sort of 1750, it can put in a 5-minute bull flag and start ripping some faces. We're back down to previous day value area low. You would expect some form of reaction here, folks. If they don't get a reaction here, you know where we're going. We've talked about it. Those 450s. So if you have been in this short, you better be covering some of your position here, because this is where we found a bid 2 days in a row. All right, we found a bid here for 2 days in a row in this blue box and this level here. So you better be taking some of your money off the table, please. And if we can get down to 450, that would be like dreamboat scenario for you guys, I think, if you're in this short. How long we got to the new hour? 4 minutes. Still sell pressure. Still sell pressure here. They want to get that value area low. They're desperate for it. Haven't had much relief for these guys yet. Nice, Peter. Yeah, really nice work. Just make sure you paid yourself on the way. That's all you got to do. Pay yourself on the way and protect your stops. And you are, I mean, you are well in the money, aren't you? From previous day value area high. Here it comes. I'd say down here is very possible. Edge of this green box. I really think that's possible. I really, really think that's possible for you today. They keep protecting this low. I'm not sure why. Maybe just some covers in front of the value area low. But I think you're going to get a snap sooner or later. But staying heavy right now. Here it comes. Okay, into your next TP here. Just a bit of front running it. They're all front running the covers. Buyers met with sellers there. Aggressive buyers met with sellers there again, just in this candle. I'm not sure this is done printing lower. It's just whether they need relief to resell into. So right at the bottom of the 2-day balance range here. Oh, it's upsetting, folks. It's upsetting. I mean, it's a 200-point A+ trade. It just needed one little push at the open. That's all I wanted. Just a little push at the open for me to sell into. Okay, coming to test the edge of this. All right, this is where we were thick yesterday. In terms of liquidity, we were very, very thin. 16 to 30 was all sell side. So they might reprice that. Big old imbalance, 16 to 30. Yes, we did that big flush candle. This here. So 16 to 30 is actually where the imbalance is. And so far, all structures still bearish. I still think they want to come and take this out. This is my bias is lower right now, even though we're at the edge of value. I mean, it's not a location to be short at, but if you're holding your short, I think you look good. I have unfortunately lost location. I feel stupid for missing all of that. Very humbling. What did you miss, Roscoe? And don't feel stupid. I mean, if it gave you your setup and you didn't take it, then it's just a learning lesson. If it didn't give you your setup, like me, if you could see the whole thing coming and it didn't give you your setup, you mustn't feel stupid. It's just, what you're going to do, you know? I want to get on the racetrack. I want to jump in the Ferrari, but it gave me, I don't know, it gave me a Skoda or something. You know, I don't want to get in on the Skoda. I want to get in a good car, and it just didn't give it to me. It was very close. Maybe if I'd been at my desk an hour earlier, I would have taken it pre-market, but coulda, woulda, shoulda. It is what it is. It is what it is. All right, squeeze back up. So some relief. Peter, knife catching 3 days in a row, frustrating, yeah. Okay, here we go. Squeeze back up to the VWAP. This is where we built some liquidity. I'm going to remove this level from yesterday because they've traded through it too many times here. So you can see this old value holding. And look at the edge of value today. Same level up here. Same level as previous week's point of control, previous day's value area high. Everything's in the same level right now. Midpoint trade here back towards VWAP. How are we doing for time? New H1 coming. Okay, so if this H1 pushes up and is sold into, I think we make new lows. As simple as that. If this is a rebalance of an H1 and they're sold into, I would imagine we will make new lows, which is what you're starting to see, right into that old VWAP and block. So I am interested in this, if they can really give us a A+ setup, because I think we have unfinished business at 450s. I think down here we have unfinished business. So watching this now, we have to be very careful because we've built out lots of volume here. All right, that's your volume being built out. But if we start letting go of this, previous day value area low, previous day low, and I think 450 is very, very possible. If we're going to bid above this, all right, if this is the trap underneath and they're going to hold bids above this, then they're going to look for rotation back into here. I don't want to trade in this range. I don't really even want to be long. I want to, because we've been in a sell all day. We're only half an hour in. All right, I want to see if this is met with sellers for this kind of play here. If they reclaim this, obviously I'm not going to sell. Then I'm considering, okay, can we squeeze all the way back up? I will consider it. I'm not going to be biased because we're in balance range right now. So I'm almost saying that to myself out loud to make sure I understand it. We are in a 2-day balanced range. I'm trying not to have too much bias to one side. But for me, this is a bit of relief after a major, major sell. I would expect sellers will come back on this book and try and sell us back down towards those 450s. It's just how much relief does it need for them to do that? And if they don't come on back on the book and buyers take over, then we will consider buys back above previous day value area high. I'm not going to consider buys in front of previous day value area high. What is the book doing? Where are they offering right now? Up towards 700s. It's a long way away. Long way away. VIX getting crushed a little bit here. So into this thin pocket, and then we get thick again into sort of here. So I'm just having to draw the same things on my NinjaTrader we have on there. Yep, sellers selling pops so far, and I still think 450 is possible. Failing into VWAP there, failing into PDC there, in front of PDC. So staying heavy versus PDC for now. I'm interested in shorts if they set it up. I'm interested in shorts, and it would be TP1, TP2, TP3 in this area. If they set it up, I'm not going to front run it. If they're going to squeeze this all the way back, whatever, so be it. If we start seeing sellers coming in, which we're starting to see, I'm watching this H1. If this H1 goes red as well, will help the thesis. Here we go. Here we go, folks. Can we get some follow through? Are they interested in selling down to 450s? This is the edge. This is retest of volume now. This is key now. So we're staying heavy versus PDC. This means we have a first red day set up. VWAP. This is potentially being built out. The only trouble is this thickness here. So any squeeze up which fails, and this is what I'm looking for, ideally. If we reclaim above here, then I will just leave it to go back up to previous day's value. Here we go, starting to see sell pressure coming back in the tape. Point of control is right here as well. They're making this so hard on NQ, honestly, that you don't want to give me it at the start of the day, and now you're going to try and make it extra tough for me to take an hour in or so. You absolute buggers. All right, 600 whole number as well. Still holding volume for now. Buyers coming back in on the tape here. Market's still all red. Nvidia trying to get back to its closing price. It's all over the shop. AMD having a day, 7.75% up. Let me have a look at the breadth quickly in the market. Give me a second. Yeah, well, very much like yesterday, financials and healthcare are